it's almost like it took away that barrier, and I started, not dramatically overnight, wow, he's put on 20 pounds, no, but slowly, you know, went from 280 in a year to like 290. Wow. And then the next year was 295, 300. So it was like a different level with the muscle mass, I think, with the growth hormone. But yeah, I didn't use that until I was pro.
And then when you eventually left doing professional bodybuilding, did you stay on certain hormones? Or?
Well, here's the thing. So I tore my tricep tendon in 97.
Okay.
Getting ready for the contest, and after the contest I had a surgery to reattach it, and then I wanted to see like how will it go to get back into training, and is it possible that I could do another Mr. Olympia? I don't know until I start training. I don't know how the tricep's going to look, how it's going to function or anything. So slowly get back into training, but I realized at some point, so I was using some steroids during that point, some testosterone, some nandrolone, just, you know, to help the recovery and to start training, getting the size back and everything. And I realized that there was just a big difference in the strength, the function of the left to right side. Not only that, aesthetically, it looked different. The medial head had really torn and reduced. So then I'm like, well, let's just be honest, I can't train properly. There's no way I can compete with the best in the world. And I was lucky, you know, to be able to get through to the contest last time and win it, because I couldn't train for the last 3 weeks with a severe injury. No point to go and try again, because I couldn't even match that, and I'll get beaten, and what's the point of that? I had, maybe I'm a bit of extremist, I guess. Who would want to be the best in the world at anything? It's a bit extreme, right? So you must be. So I said I'm using steroids as a tool of the trade, and like, you know, that's it. So when I finished steroids. And also my wife at the time was like wanting to have another baby, and we were kind of like, let's put it off until I finish, and then like I got more time and let's fix the hormones, and so there was that as well. So I said I'm just going to stop, and I just stopped cold turkey. That was not, I'm definitely advising you not to do that.
So I was going to ask you, how did that play into your mental health at the time? And
well, it was, I guess it was potentially devastating on my mental health. It's hard to say because there was a lot of other factors. I mean, first of all, I retired from something that was totally absorbing and was my whole life and becomes your whole identity. So now that's taken away, and I really don't know who I am or what I should do. Or, I mean, there's not even, was a complete cutoff because there's no internet or anything then. So, you know, the world is,
so this is
the world is a small place now. You know, you can message your friend or the other side of the world, and all this. It was a different time. You're only visible as a professional bodybuilder in magazines or on videotapes. Now I'm finished, media, and I'm cut off. There's no social media. There's no way. And I don't know. I just felt like I didn't know who I was. I felt like things in my personal life, in my marriage, that were probably not good, but I had been putting my head in the sand as I was. Just need to be like that. Some things you can't confront, or you don't want to, because you need to keep focused, and as a competitor. So there was that, and somebody else, somebody in my family that was young, and they died very unexpectedly. So all these things happened within a year period, and my hormones were like on the floor. And I went to see an endocrinologist, and after talking with him, he said, to be honest, as far as like, you know, recovering yourself and testosterone and everything after steroids, I think you know more than me. I mean, this was like devastating. I'm like, I come here for advice, man. And shall I do HCG? Shall I do that? And he's like, I don't know. Basically, you probably sound like you know more than me. So he was just a fertility doctor. He didn't know anything about that, like the testosterone. And mentally I was having a hard time. I was like having anxiety attacks in the night. And I mean, eventually it took me about 2 years, but I've just worked it out myself. Like, let me take some testosterone, and things leveled out. Then I was able to think a bit more clearly and deal with things. But it was a very, I don't know how it would be if I was, the only factor I had to deal with was that I was coming off testosterone and I had low testosterone. Under normal circumstances, how would I feel? I probably feel depressed, but there was also an avalanche of things that I had to confront at the same time. So yeah, I was, I mean, as low as you want to talk about. I was suicidal. I was like, I don't know who I am. I don't know what the point is. And who was that guy? Who was that guy that won all those contests and was like on top of the world and was like a king? I mean, who was that? I don't even know who that was. Like, that's how I was feeling at the time. And you know, just having a shot of testosterone didn't fix all those things, but it eventually put me in a better frame of mind to be able to think a bit more logically and so on and work things out. And it took me a long time to I don't know why I felt like that. I felt like the Mr. Olympia's over.
Yeah.
And now I need to be somebody else. Like, I needed to reinvent myself and be somebody else. But in fact, being Mr. Olympia is always going to be a big part of my life and a big part of it, but it's not, you know, it doesn't sum me up. It's not my identity. It's part, and it's a huge part of my life, because otherwise nobody'd be interested in talking to me, right? And I wouldn't be able to get my views across and hopefully just help people with my life experience, especially guys that are younger and they want to, you know, they don't have a lot of people to look up to. That I've been there. I've lived life. I've been.
Now you want to give back.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. I think that's the whole point, really. In the end, you achieve your goals, you win your battles, you win your trophies, you win some money, and all this stuff. But there's always a greater purpose, I believe, behind it, and that I have a platform and that I can reach people. I think is what I'm doing now. Yeah,
you're doing good work out there.
I mean, I'm just being me. That's who I need to be, and speak myself, my own truth, and encourage everybody to do that for themselves. They don't have to be me or agree with me or follow my path or anything like that. It's just to really to be able to question yourself.
Yeah. And
who are you? You know? Are you really you? Is it really your opinions that's going through your head? Is it really, or are you following because it's comfortable, or did somebody else tell you and you never questioned it? You know, be your own expression and question everything, because most things are not true.
Yeah,
most things are not true. So question everything, even me. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, that's a good outlook. You're free when you have that outlook. When
you're free. Just question. I mean, that's my favorite hobby. People ask me, I say for a joke, well, I'm serious. Like, what do you do now? What's your hobby? Fucking thinking.
Thinking is your hobby.
Is my hobby. Yes.
And
continual thinking and analysis of self, of like, what is this? You know?
Where am I?
Yeah, I mean, shouldn't we be doing that? Like, at least at some point. Maybe you don't think like that when you're 25 or 30 because you're young and you want to kill the world and conquer, and you're young and that's your drive, right? But at some point, I know it's a game. More than that, I know it's a game which I can interact with and I can influence with my thoughts.